The discussion that follows will provide information on the relevance of Western civilization and whether it remains important in today's world. From the multiple readings assigned this past week, it can be noted while most of the authors were not able to definitively define what West means in terms of Western civilization, they were able to provide insight into the idea of what Western civilization is known to encompass. Beginning with the great Greek philosophers, followed by the lesser Roman philosophers, we are shown how these thinkers provided valuable starting points on political thought, the role of man, and his place in society, ideas that would become the foundation and building blocks of what would later be called Western civilization. And perhaps the simplest definition is that the region most influenced by those Greek philosophers were those located to the west of Greece, hence Western civilization. Anyone reviewing the past knows civilizations did not suddenly materialize from nothing. Robert Royal states in his essay, "Who put the West in Western civilization?" Civilizations became an elaborate structure of ideas and institutions, slowly built up over time by the intelligence and efforts of numerous individuals. And in Western civilization, of the many ideas to evolve, the most important was freedom. Author Alexander Rosenthal Pabul writes in his essay, Reflections on Ancient and Modern Freedoms, that Western civilization is unique among world cultures in the special significance and value it accords to the idea of freedom. There it is again, the word freedom. This idea of freedom is still the bedrock of our culture today in the West. Rosenthal Pabul goes on to write, freedom allows the individual the liberty to choose their own religion, politics, and economic spheres. I would also add educational pursuits to this list as well. It is this idea of freedom that distinguishes the West from other world cultures, both in ancient and modern times. In addition, Western civilization has a unique cultural profile compared to other traditional cultures, as Kevin MacDonald describes in his article, What Makes Western Culture Unique? MacDonald goes on to add the following points that he believes differentiate the West from other cultures: the Catholic Church and Christianity, a tendency towards monogamy, a tendency toward a simple family structure based on the nuclear family, a tendency for marriage to be companionate and based on the mutual affection of each spouse, and a tendency toward individualism and its implications, such as the individual rights against the state, representative governments, moral universalism, and science. Each of these points listed by MacDonald has led to a more stable society in the West, a society that is faith-based, family-oriented, governed by representative governments with stable transition of power, and freedoms not always found in other cultures. In the United States, the idea of freedom is what allowed this country to achieve a greatness not realized by many other nations. The Declaration of Independence, followed later by the United States Constitution, has put these freedoms into law. These freedoms are now the law of the land, and because they are written into the law, it allows the citizens to maintain their freedoms. If any of these laws are violated, the citizens are allowed to petition the government for a redress of grievances. This statement is found in the Constitution. Actually, it's found in Amendment 1 of the Bill of Rights. Additional freedoms found in the same amendment allow for the freedom of speech, of religion, of the press, and it gives the people the right to assemble peacefully. Throughout the next 9 amendments, completing what is known as the Bill of Rights, are other freedoms provided to the citizens of the United States. The Bill of Rights, along with the remaining amendments, are all part of the law of the land, and these laws cannot be taken away unless the people allow this to occur. This leads to the question of whether Western civilization is relevant today. Well, the simple answer is yes. The reason is as long as people have enjoyed freedom, are willing to fight to maintain it, and are willing to defend their freedoms, then Western civilization will maintain its relevance. As Westerners, we must be grateful to those ancient Greek philosophers who first began the discussion on freedom.